Arrow Psycho 4K collection box set. Looks fantastic here. How does it sound and how does the picture quality look? Let's talk about it in this video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Vault. My name is Rob. Let's talk about movies. If this is your first time here on the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the little bell to get notified every time I post a new video. Let's delve into the Psycho 4K collection review. First things first, let's talk about the packaging. Arrow are known for their really nice limited editions and box sets and slip covers and all that good stuff, guys. And they've spared no expense on the Psycho 4K collection box set, guys, because you actually get a see-through slip cover, which looks fantastic, and you take it off and then you have the hard back box set there. You have the 4 movies and a booklet housed inside. You get about a 120-page booklet which has some information on the restorations. You have some writings about the movie, interviews and all that good stuff. You also get reversible sleeve art for each movie. I've gone with the original versions here, guys, which I like to do. You get some art cards with some of the movies, and each of the movies come with a little mini poster that is the original artwork and the newly commissioned Arrow artwork as well. So let's break down each movie, guys. Obviously up first is Psycho, the original from 1960. Now this is the 60th anniversary edition included in the box set, guys, and I already had the really nice steelbook 60th anniversary edition here. This had some audio issues, I remember at the time, that I did not hear on this disc, but I wasn't listening to the original mono audio track. There inside you have your disc artwork, and as I showed you guys, some postcards and the poster there. Now you are going to get the theatrical cut and the uncut version, which is how Hitchcock intended for us to see Psycho. So I have watched the uncut version of the movie, which runs 109 minutes for this review here. Audio, let's talk about how it sounds here in the vault, guys. TV is down this end. This is where I watched the 4 movies for this review video. I listened to the DTS-X master audio track. It's obviously a center channel focused mix because the movie was originally mixed in mono. The surrounds kind of kick in with the atmosphere, in particular stuff like when Janet Leigh is driving in the car in the storm, the rain. You're going to get the rain coming in the surrounds, stuff like that. It's a really nice mix. Again, I had no issues when this was originally released in the steelbook version that I picked up with the DTS-X audio mix. Sounded fine to me. And of course you have that Bernard Herrmann score, which is absolutely phenomenal. Picture quality on Psycho, guys. This is in the 1.85:1 aspect ratio, the original aspect ratio, so it's going to fill your picture full screen. This is a 4K 2160p disc. It's a 4K restoration, scanned and graded in standard dynamic range and HDR10 high dynamic range. Absolutely looks phenomenal. I think black and white movies look brilliant in 4K. This is one of those examples. It does feature film grain. It's a really fine grain, so if you're kind of far away from your TV, it's not as obvious as if you move up closer, like I always say in these reviews, guys. Sometimes the grain looks a little bit heavier than other times, and I think that sometimes comes down to the film stock that they used. You know, are you shooting in low light? Are you shooting in daylight? All this kind of stuff, guys, comes into play when choosing film stocks and that kind of thing. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful in Psycho. Absolutely looks fantastic. I love it. The shower scene is like, you know, has its own documentary and everything, guys. And coming out of the shower scene, I always thought there was, like, you know, for all the 40 whatever cuts or something like that it is within the shower scene, I always thought like the one chilling shot coming out of the shower scene is when Janet Leigh kind of falls and she's just on the ground, kind of, you know, staring at the camera, and camera kind of pulls away. That shot always gets me, but absolutely looks fantastic. Bonus features included on the 4K disc, guys, because this is just a 4K set, no Blu-rays included. There are 3+ hours of bonus content on Psycho alone. I have a list, guys: making ofs, the sound of Psycho, Hitchcock legacy, Hitchcock Truffaut, little featurette there for 15 minutes, newsreels, music with and without the shower scene storyboards, archives, posters, adverts, lobby cards, behind the scenes photos, couple of photo gallery stuff in there, guys, production photos, trailers, audio commentaries, you name it, it's all jam packed on Psycho. So obviously up next is Psycho 2 from 1983, guys. Inside there is your disc and your artwork. You get some art cards and again a reversible poster with the original artwork and that newly commissioned Arrow artwork. This one runs 113 minutes, 1983, so 23 years later after the original. I do remember seeing this, and actually it's, you know, for me it was revisiting 2, 3 and seeing Psycho 4 for the very first time for this review here. I never had Psycho 2, 3 and 4 in the collection at all, so these are welcome additions. Let's talk audio on Psycho 2, guys. DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 mix, which is what I listened to here for this review. Originally it was a stereo mix, which is included. It's a front channel heavy kind of mix, obviously because it was originally a stereo, so you're getting your left, center and right channels mostly firing within the sound mix. No panning, so sometimes I found this a little bit weird. So if you're watching a movie and I'm sitting in the center of this frame in this video you're watching, like in a cinema setting, my dialogue should be coming from the center channel directly in front of you guys. So if somebody walked into my right on this side, which is your left, that person talking should be coming through the left front speaker. And if somebody walked into my left, which is your right, and they start talking, they should be talking from the right channel speaker. At times you had Norman Bates center of screen like I am, and somebody would walk in but the dialogue was all coming from the center channel, which I thought like, that's kind of weird, because in other scenes somebody would walk in on the left and talk and their dialogue is coming from the left channel. So I thought they could have done something better with that there, I felt. No Bernard Herrmann score, Jerry Goldsmith score. Jerry Goldsmith's done some fantastic stuff throughout his career. The score sounded like really magical, and not in a good way, in a bad way. I thought it was too kind of fantasy, family friendly kind of sounding score. I did not like the score for Psycho 2. Picture quality up next, guys. Psycho 2 is presented in a 1.85:1 aspect ratio, full screen, filling your TV or however you're watching this. It's the original aspect ratio. Once again, a 4K 2160p disc. This is a 4K scan of the original camera negative and was color graded in standard dynamic range and high dynamic range HDR10. Dean Cundy, director of photography. I love this guy. You guys know I love Halloween. I have the Halloween shelf behind me with the horror stuff. Dean Cundy has done some fantastic movies, and I love how Psycho 2 was shot. Fantastic job by him on this one. Now, in saying that, there are some outdoor scenes in Psycho 2 that look really overexposed, and then outside scenes look fantastic. It's really like a random mix with the color grade, I felt at some times. Overall, the color grade looks really, really good. Daytime stuff too bright, but then when they get the daytime stuff looking right, it looks really vibrant and colourful and looks brilliant. Nighttime scenes look nice and dark and stuff in the shadows and all that kind of stuff. Like, absolutely love it. Fantastic. One thing drove me mad in Psycho 2 and drives me mad overall in movies, guys, is daytime for nighttime shots. So they shoot a scene in daytime and they just kind of basically switch it to blue or you know, cool the color, darken it down, and it's very, very obvious that when someone's walking down from the Psycho house, you can see their shadow from the sun on the ground. It drives me mad. I did not like that, and some of that is in Psycho 2. Film grain is in there. Once again, looks fine. It looks good. There are some grain inconsistencies around the 40 and 80 minute mark. Grain gets a little bit heavier, and I kind of thought like, ooh, okay, maybe that they were the only original elements available for the scan and restoration, but I just wanted to point it out. But Psycho 2 is a straight up slasher, guys, you know, where Psycho builds on the suspense and, you know, the dread and the terror and all that. Like, Psycho 2 is a straight up slasher right out of the early 80s. Bonus features, guys. There are almost 4 hours of bonus features jam-packed into Psycho 2, an episode of Masters of Horror on Psycho. You have a featurette on Robert Bloch, who originally wrote the original Psycho. Anthony Perkins interview, director interviews, vintage featurettes, a demo of the score. You have trailers, TV spots, an audio promo kit which runs 113 minutes, 2 photo galleries and 2 audio commentaries as well on this one. Up next is Psycho 3 from 1986. We follow on, guys. This one runs 93 minutes long. Inside you are getting some art cards again, the reversible poster, and there is your disc art. Audio quality on Psycho 3, guys, DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 is how I listened to this one. There's an original stereo mix in there. Echo, guys, an issue I kind of found with echo on this one. The dialogue, as I mentioned earlier, center channel, sometimes bleeds into the left and the right and some of the surrounds. I thought that was really weird and kind of distracting, creating this weird kind of echo tunnel kind of sound. The dialogue is obviously dubbed at certain points for Anthony Perkins here. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie where he's clearly not even talking and there's just some dubbed audio put in there. The mix of the levels are up and down. The music's very loud at times, I found. I usually have a set volume I run at here on my amplifier receiver, and I kind of felt I had to pump it up for the dialogue and then drop it down for the music, so the levels of the mix are a little bit all over the place, I felt. Picture quality for Psycho 3, guys, 1.85 to 1 aspect ratio, full screen original aspect ratio, 2160p 4K disc, 4K scan of the original camera negative, color graded in standard dynamic range and high dynamic range HDR10. The grain switches between a fine grain and a very coarse, kind of heavy looking grain. The grade is similar to Psycho 2, I felt. There's outdoor scenes look really overexposed, and then at times outdoor scenes look fantastic and really vibrant and colourful. Low light scenes look brilliant in this. There is some stuff with Jeff Fahey, you know, with some kind of blues and red lights and stuff, you know, all the kind of stuff that's on the cover here. All that stuff looks really, really great, and I think that's, you know, where 4K shines with these older movies and the scans when they're done properly. The inconsistencies between the grain could be, you know, the kind of elements that are left of the movie, but this is a Universal, right? I can't see Universal kind of having terrible masters of Psycho, you would hope. This movie, the kind of series takes a downhill turn for me with this one, and yeah, that's kind of as much as I have to say about Psycho 3. Bonus features on Psycho 3, guys, 85 minutes of bonus features in there. You get stuff like video essays, composing Psycho 3, actor interviews, special effects makeup interviews, body double interviews, alternative TV cut kind of scenes, little featurette there, original press kit, trailers, TV spots, an image gallery, and an audio commentary. And last but not least, Psycho 4 The Beginning from 1990, guys. This one is a 2-disc set here, so you don't get art cards, but you get the reversible poster, you get the original cut here, and then when you flip over, you are getting the TV aspect ratio cut. I will talk about that in 1 second. So, Psycho The Beginning comes in 1990. This one runs 96 minutes long. This was a first time watch for me, guys. This is directed by Mick Garris, so I went into this thinking this is going to be great. Audio was an LPCM 2-channel stereo mix. It's an original lossless stereo audio. Essentially, I believe this movie was shot for TV. The score goes back to the original Bernard Herrmann elements, and I believe it's the first time since the original Psycho that the Psycho team is used again in one of the movies, which is pretty kind of disheartening with Psycho 2 and 3. It sounds okay, it is what it is. As I said, stereo mix. There's not a lot we can do there. That's what we're getting on this one. Picture quality, guys. So Psycho 4 is on 2 discs because it's presented in the original 1.78 to 1 aspect ratio, which will fill your screen, and then the second disc is in the TV aspect ratio, which is 133 to 1, the old kind of 4 to 3 square aspect ratio. I watched the 178 to 1 disc for this review. Once again, a 4K 2160p disc scan of the original 35mm camera negative, graded in SDR and HDR10 once again. The grain is once again a mixture of fine grain and coarse or heavy grain at times. Blues and reds look really, really good in the color grade. There's a lot of close-ups of Anthony Perkins in this movie, and I feel like, I don't know if they took a kind of a wide shot like what you're looking at now, and then they just literally cropped in, because it looks like it's a really heavy grain, and then on wider shots it doesn't look as obvious, and I don't know if that's a choice they made in editing the movie or not. But I will say some of the movie looks absolutely fantastic, as you would expect from a proper scan and restoration in color grade for the movie. Olivia Hussey plays Norman Bates' mother in Psycho 4 at the beginning, so it goes from Anthony Perkins calling a radio show through flashbacks basically explaining how he became Norman Bates. And that's basically all I can say about the movie, guys. I did not like it. Olivia Hussey's in there and she has a weird British accent which kind of makes no sense to me in this movie at all. I mean, they recreated the house and all that good stuff and the motel, really, really good. Looks good, but didn't deliver for me. 81 minutes of bonus features on Psycho 4 at the beginning, guys. There is stuff like a video essay, special effects makeup artist interview, behind the scenes scoring the movie, and a bunch of trailers for all the movies, the TV series Bates Motel and the terrible Gus Van Sant Psycho remake from 1998. So there we go, guys. That is my review of the Arrow Psycho 4K collection. Overall, I'm really pleased with this. It looks great and absolutely love to have it on the shelf. I'll put it up on the Arrow shelf later on. I would love for you guys to jump in the comments. Let me know, have you picked up this? What did you think about the transfers and the audio? I'm just being quite picky with this review, guys, just to kind of let you know what I see and hear in this box set, to kind of inform you guys whether you want to spend the money on these box sets, because let's be honest, they are quite expensive and we are spending our hard-earned money on these things. So I just want to let you guys know, if you haven't picked it up, those are my thoughts on the box set. But with all the negatives that I've said there, I am really happy to have 4 Psycho movies on 4K in the collection. Of course, I'm going to keep the steelbook as well. Could not let it go. That does it, guys. As I said, jump in the comments. Let me know. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe, and I will talk to you on the next video. Psh.